Welcome back to another episode of That's Business. Today's guest is the visionary owner of BattleGR, a dynamic entertainment business dedicated to creating a memorable experience through fun and competition. With over 20 years of sales experience, Jenny has channeled her passion into building a space where people come together to make lasting memories. Jenny, I'm so excited to talk with you because I feel like you are doing what every kid wants to do growing up, is just have this badass fun arena. So starting out, thank you for being on the podcast because we have a lot of fun things to talk about.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So let's throw it back. I know you have this awesome 20-year sales career that you've gone through, but did you know growing up that you would end up in sales and then end up owning what every kid wants to do? Or what was your childhood like, if you feel comfortable telling us?
Yeah, no, this is not at all where I thought I would be. I grew up, went to Granville High School, so kind of in the outskirts of Grand Rapids, had horses growing up and went to Grand Valley. When I started at Grand Valley, I thought I would go to school to be a professor, honestly, in business. Once I graduated, I kind of changed focus. I also got married and had kids in the midst of college, so that kind of changed things too.
I didn't realize you were so young. Oh my, I guess if I do the math of your kids' ages, that does make sense. But oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Amazing. So talking about BattleGR, how did this idea come up? Because it's a big undertaking. I mean, I've seen your facility. It's massive. How did this idea come up?
We lived outside of Michigan for 10 years, and we were outside of Nashville, Tennessee. My husband taught, so he was teaching high school math and chemistry. And our kids were like outside of that trampoline space. I wasn't going to go jump on a trampoline because with my luck, I'd break my leg.
Same.
So there was kind of that need for something for that. Families with kids that are like over the age of 7 or 8 to interact and do things with them. We have lost the connection between parents and kids, I feel like, in this day and age. So we were kind of looking at something fun. But how I found out about it is in one of my networking groups, a guy kept coming in every week saying he had this mobile laser tag equipment that he was going to sell. He had built out the website for Nashville and things like that, but just hadn't been able to actually do the business. He had moved from Jacksonville, Florida to Nashville, Tennessee. So my kids' birthdays are 3 weeks apart. I was like, bring it on over. Like, what is this mobile laser tag like? And in Nashville, everything goes to you. Like, they have family entertainment centers down there, but a lot of stuff like big community parties and things like that, all the water slides and all sorts of stuff comes to you. So the idea is like, you could go to churches and community events and backyard barbecues and birthday parties and stuff. So he brought it over. It was like legit laser tag with stoves and like glow in the dark vest and lasers that we all grew up with. And so it was like walking into Call of Duty. Of course, my kids had a blast, and we ended up being like the neighborhood house that all the kids like flocked to. So we ended up with, a fun little battle zone in our backyard, and the equipment never left our house. My husband said, no, we're not going to start this business. No, we're not going to start this business. I was like, this is so great. So after the third time, I said, okay, that's fine. Never go ahead and do this anyway. And then we moved back to Grand Rapids in July of 17. And we just started mobile laser tag here and then opened up a really small location because in Michigan, we have winters, and in Nashville, there's not really winter. You could operate pretty much year round. So we started with a really small location, just laser tag. And our thought behind that was like small group, more intimate, birthday parties, celebrations, things like that. And then 2 weeks before COVID, we signed our paperwork for 24,000 square feet. And we grew from just laser tag to a full-blown fun center. More of an event center, though. We're not where you just walk in and play. You want a reservation.
Yes. And because you have different mobile units and you're not just in Grand Rapids from getting to know you. So what does it look like today as far as what kind of events are you putting on? I know you do a lot of corporate events and things like that. And of course, if you want to take a look, head to the show notes and check out our website. But for those listening, what does that look like? I mean, what can people expect when they walk in your facility?
So we do tactical laser tag. We're one of 3 in the whole state of Michigan and the only one on the west side. And then we have axe throwing, but we use a projector system. So we have like 10 different games. You can even put a photo from your phone up there and throw at it. You could play Battleship, blackjacks, cricket. So all sorts of really fun games with axe throwing. You do throw, a real hatchet like everywhere else. We use the end grain of the wood, so it's safer. And then we have throw bowling. So bowling pins on the board, you throw a football at it. Cornhole. We have archery tag, which is dodgeball meets archery. It's super fun. And then we play sports, so basketball, volleyball, and futsal. So lots of fun things. We have a party room that's dedicated to video games. So if you have a gamer, we can do laser tag and video games. We have a kitchen and a bar, so parents can enjoy some adult food and beverage, and kids can enjoy, slushies and pizza or chicken tenders because, they don't need anything awesome.
Exactly. That's all my boyfriend eats now at 30 years old. So,
Right.
Of course, talking about signing this massive lease 2 weeks before COVID. So, of course, a big goal of this podcast is to talk through how being a business owner, sometimes you want to throw your head through the wall. So what happened during COVID? I mean, obviously, I know you had to shut down and everything, but what was that transition period like to now getting out of it and being successful?
Yeah, so definitely challenging time, just like every other business owner. We still had our mobile division and we had added to that. So we went from laser tag and archery tag. And then in 2020, we rode down to North Carolina and picked up a video game trailer. So it was our way of getting out of the state of Michigan,
Yep.
A breath of fresh air. So that summer, really what kept us alive is we did outdoor events. And then we had a local park that we would set up and parents could sign their kids up to come and play for 3 hours. So it was just kind of a good way to get some energy out and keep some revenue coming in. And then we still did private parties here and there at our indoor place. We moved into our new space October 1st, and then we have air ionizers and we're big about making sure things are clean and wiped down. We don't want anybody going home thinking that they got sick here kind of thing. So that was already like ingrained in us. But October 1st, we got the keys and we kind of looked at each other and was like, we're either going to fight through or we're going to hand these back, So we fought. We did a lot with the homeschool community. They were still playing sports in Indiana, even though Michigan was closed. So we rented our courts out to them and they kept us alive for the first probably like 4 or 5 months, honestly. And then once spring hit, it kind of opened back up and people were back to birthday parties and getting together a little bit. And we just kept trying to pivot and figure out different ideas that we could do. But yeah, we just kept working through it.
You're like, on to the next one. Got to do what you got to do. So, because what's so fascinating to me is mobile laser tag and the mobile experiences. You are literally driving around. I know the state of Michigan, and Jenny and I know each other from the Goldman Sachs program. I should have mentioned that earlier, but you constantly like stepping out for phone calls at lunch and things like that. And you telling us like your people are literally all over the state. So paint the picture for us of what mobile laser tag looks like and those other mobile services, because I just think that's so freaking genius what you're doing and bring the party to you.
Yeah. Most people, when you think of laser tag, they think of the big bulky vest. You have to have black lights for things like that. So ours doesn't operate that way. We can set it up in the sunshine. That's the biggest thing people get worried about is, can we play outdoors? But we bring like pop-up hunting blinds, and then we have barriers that are corrugated plastic with PVC piping around them. So we just kind of set up a battlefield in their yard, or we have set up in, warehouses or really big meeting spaces at hotels or things like that. So we pretty much figure out the battlefield based on the amount of space we have, really, and how many players that they want to have playing at a time. And then we have over 40 different games that we play. So very much like team building, team oriented. We have a few that we'll play that are like every man for himself, but most of what we play is team versus team. So we can literally bring team building to the school or to the company or wherever we're going. And then for like our trailers, like our axe throwing trailer and our video game trailer, we just pull that up and park it in a parking lot or curbside or wherever they want us to put it. We open it up. You would literally walk in the trailer to play. That video game trailer is heated and air conditioned, which is nice. So as long as the roads aren't crazy, we still roll in the winter, which is nice. The axe throwing trailer is kind of open air. So we get into like the beginning of November. If we get a really cold snap, then we're done for the season. But we do have heaters that's just the wind blows the heat around, right? So
right.
And then we also have like big foam machines. So we do a lot of big events. That's like a big fan that shoots out bubble bath foam. We play in it, bring speakers, have fun. We have water wars. We have, squirt guns. So play water wars. And then we also have a couple inflatables and things like that, like life-size Hungry Hippo and inflatable axe throwing for the kids and things like that. So we pack our stuff up and set it up wherever we're going. So we've done a lot of fairs and festivals this year, which has been really cool because you're there longer and you get to know the families or kids and adults that come and play over and over again.
So cool. I'm just over here like, I want to go. Let's go drive 2.5 hours to you and let's play. I will come out there eventually, but
yes, we get a discount at the hotels down the road. So, just let me know.
Oh, I will. Don't you worry. So why has this been such a priority, especially you saying earlier on this podcast that people have lost the connection to their kids or that relationship differential? So what are some of the values you've instilled at BattleGR? And also, I should point out that I love your priority on cleanliness because that is my big hypochondriac issue of like, oh my God, so many people have touched this. So I love that you're just kind of taking care of the whole family in essence. But how have you kind of instilled certain values in your employees, the experiences?
So we are big on memories. Like when you leave this world, the only thing that people have left are the memories that you've made, laser engraved moments. We talk about that at all of our team meetings, anything that we do, our pre-shift meeting, like how are we going to make that memory for whoever is coming in today, right? Whether it be a corporate group or a family or a birthday party, your whole life is just made up of those moments, right? And some of them you can remember like it was yesterday. That's really what we push for is how can we make it memorable? So our staff, we make sure that we're hiring outgoing people who like work with people, right? We've all gone to the restaurant or the hotel and checked in or wherever, and you're like, that person doesn't want to be here. Like they should go find a job that they enjoy and let somebody else take this job that, they like interacting with people. So we go through like a group interview when we hire people to see how they interact and do they like to play games and things like that. So our real focus when we started, the family unit is very broken on really both sides. Like there's so many single parents, whether a single dad or a single mom, that you don't get the support of the other parent. So we really try to focus on getting kids playing with their parents again. Like technology has taken us to a place where nobody has to leave their computer or their phone or anything. They can play games and still talk to people online, but they're not really interacting with people and they're not getting that experience. So we really try to focus and do events like we have a parent-child date night coming up. Like really focusing on trying to get parents to play with their kids, as well as adults who we have gotten so ingrained into the working and job, and, inflation has increased the cost of every single detail of our life. So then we worry about money and all the things, but we don't ever disconnect and play. So we really try to focus on come out, have a good time. You only live once, and have some fun. Let loose for a minute. A big thing is your kids need to see what it looks like to have fun as an adult, right? And although some people go to the bar to drink and let loose, we let you throw axes and blow off steam.
I like that. And you can have a drink there too. So you're covering everything. Yes, exactly. Yep. I don't want to say they're popping up more and more, but I'm noticing more facilities. I'm seeing them here and there. But what differentiates BattleGR from some of your competition? I know you're the only one in your area, which is great, but how are you different than other facilities like yours?
So we're going to be more of an event venue versus come in and play. So we do more groups, private event rentals. A lot of companies that have, 50 or more people coming to their event, we're private for them for a reasonable price. So that's one way, but then also just their experience when they come here. We're engaging, we customize to what they want and what their needs are. So each group that comes in could have something slightly different. We customize even our team building, if they're looking for more communication or they're looking for more leadership, how do we get our team to start thinking through what does a leader look like and how do we act and all those things. So really customizing it. And then we have a really great variety. We have other family entertainment centers in Grand Rapids. Most of them don't have the same variety that we have. We want people to come to us and feel like they're now a part of our family.
I love that. Now, with your kids, how do they feel about it? Do they think it's the coolest thing?
Right. When we started, Nicholas was right at 10, and he is now 18, about to turn 19. He does work for us. We have given him the option to work other places, but he does really enjoy it. And then our 14-year-old is already all right, mom and dad, when are you going to let me take over, essentially? So
I love that.
He is already I'm going to take this over. So it's really funny to see the two dynamics of one who's I'm fine with working, but I don't want any of the stress of owning.
Fair.
And the other one who's just all right, let me know when you're ready for me to take the reins. So
to say family business, I don't think you could embody family business any more than what you're doing right now. So that's so awesome to hear. And it's nice to see the different perspectives with Nicholas seeing obviously hey, the stress and being 18, I feel you're more cognizant of, the phone calls all the time, or, just because you're home doesn't mean it stops and everything like that.
Yeah.
So do you have anything exciting coming up, things you're working on, or what you're really looking forward to for the future of BattleGR?
Yeah. So we go to this event called IAPA in November down in Orlando, Florida. And it's a big, huge North American convention for amusement and all things amusement parks, family entertainment, that kind of thing. So we will be starting to look for what is the next big thing for mobile that we should add. And then also just what are people wanting that's going to be a little bit different to West Michigan. We're working on some back-end things to get to a point where we could grow to a second location. So that's super exciting. So we'll see kind of where God leads us and what doors open. I'm a firm believer that the right moment and the right time, and, you work on things, but then also God opens those doors when they're supposed to be at the right time.
Oh, I love that. Now, as we wrap this up, what advice do you have for listeners, Jenny?
Man, so many things, right? you go through life and you really have no idea where you're going to end up. You have a thought of like, okay, this is the career path I'm going to take. And then, the company closes or downsizes or goes overseas or that kind of thing. Or you are a stay-at-home mom and you're like, I'm going to stay home with my kids. And then the kids grow up and now you're like, I have no idea what I'm going to do. Right. So my advice would be to find whatever you're passionate about and make a living out of that. I mean, there's people who love to take pictures probably who never thought like, I'm going to actually make money at taking pictures. Right. So whatever you're passionate about, find what lines up with that and be true to yourself. Like if it's not working and not fitting, just pivot. I feel like we probably all have gotten really good at pivoting in the last 4 years.
A little too well with this. And I swear I didn't tell Jenny to say all those great things that I wholeheartedly agree with on the career coaching side. So Jenny, you're incredible. You're such an inspiration, and just seeing what you're doing and how badass you are. So if you're listening to this, you want to see all the badassery that Jenny's up to, head to the show notes and tune in again next week for another episode of That's Business.
If you're looking for a career change and you're not sure where to start, the Resume Rescue can help. Sure, there's no such thing as the perfect fit for everyone, but here at the Resume Rescue, we're on a mission to find the perfect solution for you. Whether it's changing careers, updating a resume, learning LinkedIn, or practicing interviewing, we have you covered. Find us online at theresumerescue.com and find all of our contact info in our show notes.